Welcome into the D Events Center on the campus of Weber State University for the first round of the boys 5A state basketball tournament. First round action coming to you live between the Woods Cross Wildcats and the Olympus Titans. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Dane Stewart here, joined by Dusty Lidster. And Dusty, the arena, I think, still a little shocked of what just happened in the previous game, Highland upsetting Bountiful. But you talk about upsets, and if there's an upset in this one, it would send waves across the state as the defending state champion Olympus Titans come in and have been playing really, really well in their region.
They absolutely have, and the shock is kind of there, but Olympus doesn't give a rip as far as the student sections. I mean, they showed up in full force, and they look great. It's great to see all the students here. But this game is going to be very interesting because for Woods Cross, you got a new tenure there going on, and for Olympus, it's defend the tradition. And the tradition is we get to the state tournament. When we get to the state tournament, we get to the state championship with Ryland Jones and Jeremy Dowdell. And guess what? For the first time in school history, the last 3 years, they're taking home banners.
State record holders in Jones and Dowdell. Dowdell, the most threes made in state history. Jones with the most assists. Trying to work on a state steals record, but it might be tough to get there. Jack Holberg comes out and gets an early bucket for Olympus, and Holberg, one of the young men that has been one of the support scorers for these Olympus Titans.
And not only that, he was a star on the football team. They got to the semifinals.
Woods Cross team comes in out of Region 5. Been a team that got off to such a hot start. I mean, some polls had them as high as number 2 in the classification. And then the back half of the region schedule started losing some of the games they won in the front half. End up finding themselves the number 4 seed out of that Region 5.
Matter of fact, we'd heard from a couple of athletic directors that if the RPI had gone this year at the time, Woods Cross would have been like a 3 seed.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were winning a lot of close games against good teams. I mean, had a big lead against Riverton, ended up losing that one, but you see a turnover here. It was Jake Lewis trying to outlet it, I think, to Jake Howe. Jake Howe has been their leading scorer, but you look at this Woods Cross team, only 4 seniors on the roster, a lot of juniors, and some kids that will be returning here.
Now remember, they also, you talk about they lost or had some close games that they won. Well, they lost, I mean, a buzzer beater to Bountiful, took them down the stretch. So they had some tough luck down the stretch of the season as well that took them from that fight for a 1 seed to put them here in this 4 seed position.
Dowdell with a miss, and the Woods Cross student section cheered, and that's actually probably not something that they're going to see very often is a Dowdell miss, as Jake Howe able to dial up a 3, and the Cats have an early lead.
Yeah, think about this Olympus team. We've talked about it on our videos. That team last year was absolutely insane, going undefeated for the entire season. But a little different blend this year.
Dowdell getting up, and he's grimacing. He took a tumble to the floor. It was looking like he was maybe holding his lower back, and Dowdell now, no, it's his ankle. As he's bent over, just holding that right ankle, and if you're Olympus, you got to hope that number 0 is going to be okay.
I think we've had more ankle injuries in the last couple of weeks than I can remember in the last few years.
I mean, I don't know if the earthquakes of Bluffdale are making their way up to Ogden and shaking the floor here or what, but I mean, Alfrey last night had a Bountiful player go down in the earlier game. Have had some lower joint concern here from the D Event Center. As both free throws good on the trip for Tyler Roberts. He's been another young man that's helped to lead the way for Woods Cross in the scoring column this year, and they got a 3-point lead here. Text your parents.
Right.
Your friends, let them know. Olympus on the ropes here. I say that facetiously. We don't need Olympus fans, you know. As that one turned over, and it goes back to Woods Cross. And this is the early Woods Cross team that has shown up here in the first quarter of this one.
Well, and again, you got to be able to string it together for 32 minutes against Olympus. And Coach Barnes, one of my favorite things about Matt is that he does not underestimate any opponent. You go talk to him before the game, it's we got to take care of the basketball, we got to shoot well, we got to defend.
Ryland Jones able to secure the rebound. It's one of the things I love about Ryland Jones. I call him the most complete player. He'll dial up the 3, and hey, I don't care if it hits glass, it goes through the cylinder. That's a 3 for Ryland.
Hey, don't take points off for going off the backboard.
And Ryland Jones able to secure the turnover. He's now running. Thought about it, boy, look at the ball handling.
Oh, my heavens.
Most complete player I've ever seen, Dusty. Tell me I'm wrong.
So badly. We were talking with David Evans yesterday. So badly, I want to see Ryland Jones go up against Mike Saunders.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
So bad. I'd love to see that.
That'd be great.
Maybe we'll put together something.
Well, we'll see where Mike Saunders ends up. We might have that at the next level, eh?
Yeah, if he goes Pac-12, that'll be a positive thing.
Yeah.
But no, Ryland Jones, I mean, it was on this floor 2 years ago that Ryland captured the hearts. Well, he already had yours. He got mine at that point. What he did in that state tournament, including the state championship against Springville. But, man, that was vintage Ryland Jones.
Boy, tough finish. Couldn't get it to go, and it's Noah Benny with the rebound for the Titans, who are up the floor quickly. Benny. Holberg on a drive, left-handed finish, gets the friendly roll. 4 points for Jack.
And we just go football up top. Let Benny hand off to Holberg, and Holberg, what a finish.
Here's Tucker Goodfellow, near side now, a drive by Howe. That one deflected off the rim, tracked down by Lewis. Corner, Howe for three. That rimmed out, and the rebound secured by Carlton.
Howe's have to shoot through that. That was a good-looking shot in rhythm and just did not drop. He's going to have to continue to have confidence in that one.
Holberg off the front of the rim, and the rebound is to Tyler Roberts.
If you're Woods Cross right now, you're happy. You're getting Holberg taking a lot of these early shots. And if you can continue to force the ball to other people, it's a positive thing for their defense.
3-point try, and it's Ryland Jones. Although they say out off of Ryland, and maybe fortunate he didn't pick up a foul. It looked like he started to come through the Woods Cross players. That ball came down.
For the officials, you rather have a foul or have it go off of you?
Yeah. Which would you like?
I think you prefer to have a goose egg in the foul column.
Ryland Jones, another steal. Dowdell, the triple. By the way, I didn't hear Titan triple when Ryland hit his three.
Oh.
What's going on?
You might have showed up, but they aren't here.
Well played. Oh.
They're hearing, but they're not listening. No, but I love, as you kind of heard me laughing there, any move that Ryland Jones makes, there is a little, it reverberates through the student section here.
Dowdell on the take to the rim, and you know, for a young man who is known for his three-point shooting, what he did in the state tournament last year and all this year has been that right there, going to get to the rim and score more balanced on the offensive end.
Well, part of it is if you're going to play at any level, the next level, he's got to put the ball on the floor.
Here comes Ryland Jones, and it's going to be a little pump fake from Holberg. Hand off to Carlton in the paint. And it's Woods Cross coming away with it. Jake Lewis leading the break. That one stolen. Dowdell, little floater, left it short. And Woods Cross on the run now. Skip pass over, three-point try from Elliott Spencer. No good, can't be saved, and we go back with the Titans.
Right now for Woods Cross, missing some opportunities. But what we've learned about the right side of the benches is that your first quarter's not great. Your second quarter, and folks, it's only the first quarter. Scoreboard has not been changed. So
thank you.
We're using a scoreboard here in the arena. It is the first quarter. The second quarter on the right side of the bench. You got to weather the storm right now, because I promise you, second quarter, all of a sudden you're going to have the avalanche of points.
I was a little nervous when it was 5-2 because, like, shoot, our first two games were great ball games. They both started off 7-0. It's like, well, crap, we've got balanced scoring to start this one off. A bad omen. Jones around the screen, three, his second of the ball game. There it is, thank you. And a timeout taken, 2:18 left here in the first quarter. Olympus feeling comfortable, 30-second timeout. We'll stay here.
Yeah, I thought great start there for Olympus, but one thing we want to let people know about is we're always brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Our scoreboard this week brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. They're a full-service law firm, folks, and they're dedicated to one thing: winning for their clients. No matter if you need help drafting a will, taking care of your estate planning, protecting your business, your personal injury, and for those of you, because it's growing in the state of Utah in the entertainment industry, they're growing a major sector there as well. They are there to win for you. Give them a call, 801-472-7742. Again, 801-472-7742. Heidemann and Associates. And we want to thank Justin Heidemann. Not only is he Carbon Dyno, he's a Wellingtonite.
Man,
Known Justin for a long time.
The roots run deep. I'll tell you something that Heidemann and Associates have in common with Olympus, and it's winning for their customers. The Olympus fans have grown well accustomed to a lot of W's, as that's a great ball entry and able to get a good finish inside. Josh Larson with the points for Woods Cross out of the timeout.
Right, there's no such thing as a 9-point shot for Woods Cross. You have got to just find your rhythm offensively, and that is working it to the rim.
Good job staying home that time by Larson, shutting down the drive from Dowdell. Leads to a three-point try here for Jackson Frank.
And the quarterback knocks down the three, and Jackson, it took him a little bit to get into basketball rhythm. Football team got deeper than they've been in a few years to the semifinals, and seems to find his legs underneath him now.
Steal by Jones again. Rylan Jones with a difficult finish. He's got 10 first quarter points for the Titans.
Just love watching Rylan Jones play. Luckily, he'll go play up on the hill, and we'll get to see him here locally still, but it'll be a major hole in our coverage not seeing Rylan Jones on the floor in an Olympus uniform.
You know, Dusty, not to, out you in front of our public, but I'm going to do it. It might be one of the few things that can actually get Dusty Lister to watch Utah basketball is going to be Rylan Jones up on the hill.
I don't even know what you mean by that, but no, absolutely. I probably miss well, I have DirecTV, so there's a certain channel I don't get, but
that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Rylan again. That one no good. Saved in. Dowdell for three.
It took me a second. I want to hear what they were saying. Let's go, students.
No, that's not what I said. Where's your students?
Oh, where's your students?
The student section of Olympus. Filling up sections here at the D-Event Center. Inside, and Noah Benny.
Remember, folks, still the end of the first quarter, not the second quarter. We'll have that, well, scoreboard down there will get it right. 20 seconds to go. But for Woods Cross, want to close out this quarter with the bucket, obviously. But they need a good possession just for their mental well-being.
Corner three. Back of the rim, offensive rebound by Larson. Couldn't get the shot away, and the first quarter comes to a close. All Olympus after one, 21-9. The Titans leading in the first round of the 5A state tournament. You're watching on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
The Shirt Stop is the place to get your state hoodies, t-shirts, and hats. The Shirt Stop creates and designs the highest quality custom apparel. For retail quality screen printing, embroidery, or promotional products, reach out to the folks at the Shirt Stop, located on the concourse here at the D-Event Center. Jimmy John's, featuring the new 9-grain wheat sauce, made with the best of the best ingredients and baked fresh every day. Now available at a Jimmy John's near you. Wheat yam, Jimmy John's. It will be Woods Cross ball to begin the second quarter.
Start of the second quarter, and now our scoreboard right here in the D-Event Center. Woods Cross basketball, and Dusty, if you're Woods Cross, what do you got to try to do differently?
Well, one, they tried to do it right there, and that is get the ball to the hole. And defensively, I actually don't mind what they've done. They have forced the ball to go through Holberg. Benny scored, but, Frank hit a three. To me, that's where you've got to push the ball. 15-0. It can't be the mainstays of their offense. We're going to let everyone else score. And if they score and they beat us, we're going to have to deal with that, especially in a half-court set. But offensively, you got to be sure with your passes. Most of Ryland Jones' points are coming on transition off of turnovers.
3-point from the corner, and it's good for Jackson Frank. And all of a sudden, Olympus showing the depth of scoring they had last year.
Well, that was our question coming into the state tournament. You know, is Olympus vulnerable because you don't have Creer and Jones? And because those two absolutely lit up the state tournament last year.
Woods Cross with a nice answer, as that's Brent German able to hit the 3. Much needed points for the Cats. How about Holberg, a long 3, and that one off the mark. Talk about Ryland Jones, his pursuit of a state record for steals. The state record currently is 320 in a career. Ryland Jones sitting at 291. So 29 shy, and he's got a max of 4 games left.
So he already has 2 in this one.
Does he only have 2? I thought he had 3 or 4.
Maybe he has 3 or 4. Okay,
regardless, he doesn't have 20.
Well, if he wants to be the John Stockton Utah high school basketball, he's going to have to get on his horse.
Right, right. He's currently in 5th place, and another 3-point bucket made. This one by Elliott Spencer, and Woods Cross with back-to-back 3s to get this back in single digits.
I tell you, second quarter, if you're on the right side of the floor, where you can make some hay.
Boy, good entry underneath, and a foul here as Frank was trying to go up. This call going to be made against Goodfellow.
That Goodfellow will never be a made man, but did a nice job even giving up that foul. He did get that arm on him.
So 2 shots coming the way of Jackson Frank. 6 points for Jackson, and that's one of the things, I mean, Dustin, when we were doing our preview for Olympus, the run they had in the football state playoffs, and normally you don't talk about this when you talk about Olympus basketball, but Coach Barnes was like, hey, we had a lot of football players, and their run went deep, and at the start of the year, guys like Jackson Frank, guys like Noah Benny were still coming back from football, trying to get healthy. You're now late in the year, and, you know, while those guys are now healthy, you've got Ryland Jones and Dowdell who have been banged up all year because they've been trying to carry that load, and health is going to be one of the main things for these Olympus Titans. They're going to need some of those football players and depth guys to show up.
Oh, absolutely, and but that's kind of the give and take on your team, and that's finding that balance. It's knowing who you are as a team.
Yeah.
One thing that you'll never have to question is the identity of Olympus basketball.
That's it. Jeremy Dowdell adds to a state record, another 3 for Dowdell.
As the chorus begins. But that, I mean, that's what it is. It's play defense and shoot the 3.
You know, I was trying to put something together for one of our videos, so I went to an Olympus practice. Yes, they do practice 3s. FYI.
With a broomstick?
I did not see the broomstick, but they ran lines of 3s. It was awesome, actually, to see.
Because here's the thing. The Matt Barnes was ahead of this before some others in the state. 3-point shot is worth a little bit more than the shot underneath the hoop, though the shot underneath the hoop is what your offense has to consist of. Has to be the main ingredient. If you're able to hit the long-range shot, you're never out of a game, and you can absolutely avalanche your opponent. The thing that Matt Barnes adds to what he's built is defense. This isn't just go score a bunch of points, we're going to outscore you. It's, no, we're going to score points, and we're going to lock you down, and we're going to force mistakes.
Ryland Jones skip across, Frank for 3. That one off the mark, and a foul underneath going to be called on Dowd. I thought on Dowdell. No, it's going against
Noah Benny.
Okay. First on Noah. No, and you're right. I mean, and you think about, you know, what a Ryland Jones enables you to do is to use that defense to get out on the run.
Yeah. Well, because he's the head of your, he's the top of your defense more times than not. They play a lot of man, but he's a guy that can jump the lanes. He runs the transition really, really well, but he's the catalyst.
3-pointer from Jake Howe, and that's 3 3-pointers for Woods Cross. And now you got a little jostling going between student sections because they're a little tired of the Titan triple, so you got the Woods Cross triple coming from the student section. And we're in for an old-fashioned shootout here.
Yeah, got it. If you're Woods Cross, you can't trade threes for threes.
Foul on the loose ball here. It's going to go against Woods Cross. Tyler Roberts picking up his first.
Yeah, for Woods Cross right now, it's that consistency. And what Olympus does is they're going to force you. With what they do, they're going to force you to be consistently good. How long can you do that? And because they play at a very high level.
Boy, great lob inside. Benny couldn't finish. And one of the things, just to finish that thought, you go back to that state championship game, they lost here on this floor to Springville. And it was Matt Barnes who went into the Springville locker room and it was like, hey, I'm going to make you beat me for 32 minutes. And if you can do that, I'll tip my cap to you. And he did. I mean, having lost the state championship, went into the locker room to compliment Springville. An overtime game, mind you, triple overtime, right?
Triple overtime, yeah.
A triple overtime game went in, having just lost state championship, to compliment the other team on the way they handled that ball game. He's just going to make the bet that you're not going to be able to hang with him for 32 minutes. Yeah. And most teams struggle to.
Especially the last 5 years. And even before then, lost a lot of state championship games.
Yeah. Early outs in the playoffs as well. Running the other way, here come the Cats. A corner three from German is good. And Woods Cross starting to find their shooting rhythm here in the second quarter.
Got to put up zeros on this end,
yep,
and go put twos and threes on the other. We talked about in the Highland game.
Well, that's the remarkable thing. I mean, you look at Woods Cross and you feel like they're feeling confident, but it's still even up at 12 points apiece here in the second quarter, so they really haven't chipped into it at all.
Right, and that's kind of the biggest part. So right now you got the zero on this end. Go put up some points.
Up the floor quickly, blocked away by Benny, a football defensive player of the year with some defense there, but the official calling a block.
Yeah, he's used to being the last line of defense, and Matt Bart's kind of laughing. He's like, he roofed it, but
first free throw good here from Jay Cow.
So checking back in for Coach Barnes is Max Carlton. But there you go, put up this zero on that end and go on a little bit of a run here for Woods Cross. Trailing by 10. We've seen it in both of the first two games.
Dowdell, boy, nice hesitation to get a step, and Dowdell to the rim. He's got 7.
Remember that first round game that Dowdell had, or I guess it was a second round game last year at the University of Utah. We hit 8 threes in the first half or something like that. I mean, the kid is just so good. And then if you know this, we watched him since he was a freshman.
Dusty's watched him since he was a freshman. I didn't see him his freshman year. I just remember all the talk about this shooter that Matt Barnes had, a freshman.
He was 32 then, and then he switched to 0 his sophomore year.
I'd love to understand the story behind that. Is it because no one can guard him?
He thinks he's Agent 0, Gilbert Arenas, but he was better when he was a little Jimmer.
And a foul here called on Rylan Jones. That'll be the first on the future Utah Ute.
You know, a very rare, I guess he didn't have one earlier, but his first foul there, Rylan Jones rarely gets into foul trouble.
This one sent into the corner. This is Howe. Kick back out, Jake for 3. Going off the mark, and Rylan Jones with the board. And a foul here going to be called on Davis Creer.
You know who Rylan reminds me of? I'm going to take some heat for this, and I really give a rip, but TJ Haas. TJ Haas in high school is eerily similar, different body, obviously, than Rylan Jones. Slasher, leads a break, shot the 3 better, but very, very similar. You don't agree with me, I'm telling you right now, that good of a defender, that many steals, and he led his team in everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Watched a lot of TJ Haas in high school.
Yeah, it's all good. I think Rylan, yeah. Anyway, how about Woods Cross? Nice finish there underneath by Davis Creer. And a timeout.
That was official timeout. Remember, I'm not saying now, I'm saying high school.
Yeah.
TJ didn't take 2 years off of high school. It might look a little bit different too, but in high school, very, very similar.
Yeah, and I think the thing that makes it a little different for me, and I didn't watch as much of that Lone Peak team as you did. You did a lot of those Lone Peak games, and I didn't see them quite as much. those TJ Haas teams had a lot of weapons around him. And last year, Ryland did, but they were unheralded weapons. You think of those Lone Peak teams, and I mean, that was a national championship.
I'm talking about after, sans that, because he was a sophomore on that team.
Okay,
I'm talking about the year after.
Okay.
You had young Frank Jackson, who was a sophomore. You had kids now at UVU, Toulson, and a couple other pieces that were a lot less heralded, that he just distributed the ball to. Got the ball everywhere his junior and senior year, too.
Ryland Jones calls for the travel here. So Woods Cross basketball, and don't look now, it's an 8-point ball game, and the Cats getting the ball back here.
Again, they tighten it up on defense, force some mistakes from Olympus, and now time to go put some more points on the board. They got to run their set cleanly here.
They get the entry, kick out. Thought about the three, boy, and that one maybe fortunate. Goodfellow just interrupted. It may have been a good look for Woods Cross. And a foul here going to be called underneath, and this is going to go on Holberg. That'll be his first.
And that's a nice job by Woods Cross. And you see the difference of the shot clock versus non-shot clock. If you got a shot clock right there, you end up jacking up a shot because you had bad spacing. You had Goodfellow cutting in front of that pass, which would have led to a three, and able to reset things with 50 seconds left in the half.
Tried for entry, and that one was deflected. Stays here.
And good hands there by Jack Holberg. You get a hand on that ball. And once again, Woods Cross, interested to see where they decide to go for this bucket.
Boy, good movement on the play and able to get the roll as Brant German, 8 points in the quarter. And it's down to 6 here with 35 seconds to go in the first half.
What a terrific job there by German. Just moving, just kept moving, circling around. He found this spot, cut to the hole for the easy lay-in. And now for Woods Cross, they got to hold up here for Olympus to steal some of this momentum, taking in the locker room with a bucket.
It's been a 20-14 quarter for the number 4 seed out of Region 5. Ryland inside of 10. Drive shut down by Creer, and it's a steal. Here comes German. Holberg back, strips it away, but can't save it, and it'll be Woods Cross basketball with 0.4 seconds left on the clock.
How big would that have been? German able to steal that and get the bucket. Nice job by Holberg, tracking him down and able to strip it.
This is going to count. Had it gone, but it doesn't. 35-29, the first half comes to a close. Olympus with the lead here in the first round of the 5A state tournament. Live at the D Event Center on live.ksl and desertnews.com.
And now for your halftime entertainment, please welcome the Olympus High School cheerleaders. In today's previous games, it was Corner Canyon 75, Wasatch 64, and Highland defeated Bountiful 71 to 60. Corner Canyon will meet Highland at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday in the quarterfinals. The winner of this game will face the winner of the upcoming game featuring Timpview and Timpanogos. That game begins at 2:30. The winner of this game will play at 5:50 on Thursday in the quarterfinals. Whether you're a parent, coach, or a student athlete, knowing more about good nutrition can lead to success on the court, as well as in the classroom. The Dairy Farm families of Utah and Dairy West are proud to sponsor the UHSAA state tournaments. Get $75 when you open a MyStyle checking account at Mountain America Credit Union. With MyStyle checking, you'll earn rewards like gift cards, cashback, event tickets, and more. For details, visit macu.com. Visit the Shirt Stop to pick up your state hoodies, t-shirts, and hats. The Shirt Stop creates and designs the highest quality custom apparel in the state of Utah. Stop by their booth on the concourse of the Event Center. Your attention, please, with the scorekeepers for Timpview and Timpanogos. Please bring your books to the head table. Timpview and Timpanogos scorekeepers, please come to the head table. Thank you.
Falling too fast to prepare for this. Tripping in the brook could be dangerous. Everybody circling this vultures. Negative, negatives. Everybody waiting for the Father Man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this. Whip, run me like a racehorse. Walk me like a ripcord. Break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip. Word up on your lip. Ready that you rip. Break me down and build me up. Whatever it takes.
Your attention, please, with Principal John Hooding. Please come to the scores table. Principal John Hooding of Woods Cross, please come to the head table. attention, please. Timpanogos scorekeeper, please bring your book to the head table. Timpanogos. Scorekeeper, please come to the head table.
Welcome back here to the D Events Center on the campus of Weber State University. First round action in the boys 5A state tournament, Olympus and Woods Cross. And for those who thought that Olympus would just cruise through this ball game, well, we've already seen a 4 takedown at number 1, and Woods Cross had a strong second quarter to show they ain't going nowhere. As that ball ruled out off of Olympus, right in front of the Olympus bench, and some petitioning, and they'll stay here.
Yeah, not a lot of argument, too, from the boys in Navy. You always want an extra possession or two, either by a steal or by a little brain gaff.
I would tell you this, I like those Woods Cross uniforms up close, but being top side of the D Event Center, they're difficult.
Yeah, it's not exactly, which they don't care, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Not broadcast friendly.
Ryland Jones with a good move, and well, he just continues to score 15 points here for Ryland.
And that's the steal total.
Dowdell gives it away to Benny somehow, and Benny able to finish.
Coach Barnes gonna feel a little vindicated. I love watching. Only because we know Matt really well, and I think I know what he's saying. But kind of put the hands like, come on, like what? But we got the bucket anyway. If they didn't get the bucket, Matt would have been nearly as nice.
Jones going to be called for the personal here. He tried to generate another steal. Mentioned coming into the ball game, should websites be accurate, he was 29 behind, and he's got at least 3, depending on who's keeping the book and how a steal is classified in their mind. It's corner 3 here, rims out. And Ryland Jones comes away with it. Benny inside. Nearly lost it, loose ball, and he does. It's German that comes out with it, and then a kick ball will have Woods Cross with the possession here, trailing by 10.
Was that this morning or was that last night? We had a kick ball that wasn't called that we kind of joked to the floor.
It was last night.
It was last night.
Yeah.
They're all blending at the moment. But Woods Cross only down 10. But again, they got to find some consistent offense. And at the end of the quarter, or the end of the half rather, it was a couple of threes. They got an inbound bucket. They got to find a consistent play so they can start generating points.
Had a lot of threes in that second quarter, helped bring them back in this ball game. They trailed 21-9. after the first, as here's a three. That one was too strong, and on the rebound, it's Holberg coming away with it for the Titans, and then gives it up. A drive from German, squares up. Grant German now in double figures for Woods Cross.
A German just from a distance. He looks like an old point guard, Holton Hunsaker, just kinda. When Holton was a freshman at Woods Cross, ended up being a 4-year starter. Had a terrific career at UVU, playing for his pop. Had gone to La Tech, and then transferred after Kerry Rupp was gone.
Dowdell's had a tough day shooting. German missed that one, kicks it out for a three-pointer. That one offline, and Dowdell with the rebound.
That's a big miss.
Dowdell another three. That won't crawl over the front of the rim. And the tough day for Dowdell continues.
I remember Jeremy tweaked that ankle at the beginning of the quarter, and I don't know that's the reason why he's missing these shots, but it certainly didn't help.
Offensive rebound, gives it inside and knocked away. Good defensive play made by Carlton.
Oh, great hands by Carlton.
Benny on the drive, and defense can be called for the foul here. Roberts will pick it up, his second.
You think about the boys' sports at Olympus in the last few years, Dane, kind of impressive. Basketball team's won 2 of the last 3 state championships in basketball. The football team gets to the semifinals this year. The baseball team got to the championship game last year. It's kind of a really nice era for Olympus.
Ever since they've rebuilt the school.
Well, I guess that's true.
Ryland Jones, that three off target. Woods Cross with the rebound. I'll tell you this too. There might not be a nicer auditorium in the state than the new Olympus High School. That thing is huge.
Really?
Yeah, it's ginormous, man. And they've even got multiple of them. They've got like a second stage that is probably, well, it's not as big as my high school auditorium was. But their main one, it's got to be like 6,000 seats. It is big. Maybe that's an exaggeration. I'm not good with seat
Corner
count,
Canyons is pretty big.
But it is big.
I was say Corner Canyons auditorium is pretty large. That's what I'm curious.
Foul called on Carlton, his second. Woods crossed the line here. His first free throw, no good for Tyler Roberts.
Gotta score points at the clock stop. Gary Trost, the assistant coach down there on that bench, he knows that from his days playing for Roger Reed.
Second free throw coming up here for Roberts. He'll make good, goes 1 of 2 on the trip. So lead back to 7 here for the Titans. Been surprising they've not, well, I shouldn't say they. Dowdell has struggled from beyond the arc. They have had contributions from others, and there's Zach Alder with his first bucket tonight. And good to see the team kind of pick up on what has been a tough shooting night for Dowdell from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and it's just one of the things that I would die to play for Coach Barnes. Hey, walk in, hey, just go in there and shoot a 3, please.
Yeah,
done. Like, I can do that.
I'll tell you this, I would have fit in with the style, though I wouldn't have had the same efficiency. That would be the key, right? Right now, you got a student section cheering overrated, a top 100 player. And this is time for Ryland Jones to say, oh, really? And just take this ball game over. He's got 17. And yeah, by the way, Woods Cross, he's not overrated. He's the best point guard in the state. One of my favorite sayings, I know you've got a couple of them, don't poke the bear.
Right.
Last thing you want to do is get Ryland Jones in this offense run. Does that lead up to 12? Here's a three-pointer, and that one good. Boy, a long one made from Jake Howe.
Yeah, Jake Howe needed that. Howe now with 13 points. This is got a 3 in every quarter now, but he's got to start picking up the scoring pace. If his Wildcats are going to hang around here with Olympus.
Tell you what, though, they haven't gone away in this one, and been impressive. Been impressive as the Titans student section recognizing some of the imitation. They say that's the imitations of nice kind of form of flattery or something like that. Sincerest form of flattery. Is that the quote?
Form of flattery, yeah.
This is like our 12th game in, what, 26 hours or something? I don't know.
Well, actually, we did 4 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. Took a day off on Sunday, did 8 yesterday, and we're on game 3. Yeah. As nice job on that inbound, Noah Benny.
Talk about a young man stepping out. How about Benny today? 8 points. He has done a nice job really all over the floor for Coach Barnes in this first round game.
Well, Noah's just he's a born leader. We knew that, saw him on the football field.
That finish off the rim for Jake Howe. Up ahead to Benny again, and he gets fouled, and Noah Benny into the stanchion hard, as the foul will go against Roberts, number 3 on Tyler.
And Roberts not gonna let him dunk it. Benny was going in for the hammer, and Roberts, a man after Jerry Sloan's heart, not gonna let that happen.
So Noah Benny to the line here. Chance to get into double figures today. First one off target for the senior forward. Second try for Noah short. 0 for 2 on the trip for Noah Benny.
Well, an opportunity now. You got a 0 on that end, and the Woods Cross could put up some points. Get this team to 9, possibly 8.
Pump fake there from German, driving, and a jump ball. That's a great job by Carlton. Going top ball, bottom ball, no foul there, and able to force the dual possession.
Hey, since you took like a handoff in football, you have 4 points of contact on that thing. Good on the official not getting caught giving that a foul.
Yeah, 3-point try off the inbound is short. Carlton with the rebound. Jones up the floor to Dowdell.
Oh.
Well, maybe it could have been a foul there. Looked like the leg got taken out inadvertently, but nonetheless, Dowdell to the floor, 48-35 here. A foul underneath going to be called here on Carlton.
Yeah, nice move there by Roberts. Spin base, able to hang on the pivot, and then try to finish it, just couldn't quite get there.
Third foul on Carlton. And back to the line now is Tyler Roberts. Split his last trip. This third quarter for Olympus, much like the first, a 13-7 advantage, pushed this lead back to double figures. Woods Cross has impressively just hung around here. It's 2 for 2 on the trip for Roberts.
Well, Wildcats continue to stick around, and for the Titans, it's just continuing to run their stuff.
Jones, hands off. Boy, had Frank in the corner, and Dowdell took it inside, drawing the contact. This foul called on the floor. It will go against Goodfellow, his second. And this is one of those things when you have a team that's like Woods Cross, is really kind of, body blow, and just trying to wear you away. Take it inside, and now do we have a double technical?
Yeah, I do. Dowdell getting into it, and now an airplane made on the floor as well. And that's actually a technical foul on Olympus if the officials see it. Isn't it amazing? No one saw that.
And Ryland Jones just very calmly walked over, picked up, and looked at his student section. What are you doing?
The officials still haven't seen that Ryland left the floor.
Hey, that's well done there. And quite frankly, not that you aim for technicals, but this is going to work out better for Olympus. It's the first foul on Dowdell, and it'll be the third now on Goodfellow. So if you're Olympus, that's probably a decent enough trade. As now we have some officials walking up and looking for our paper aviator. And the student section may be betraying one of their own, Dusty.
Well, I won't mention my junior year, we're playing against Emory, and I had some friends that threw. I wasn't there. I was actually.
Yeah, it wasn't Dusty
No,
at all.
I wasn't. I was actually broadcasting the game, and threw a ball from the Emory student section onto the floor at the end of the game and got a technical called on Emory.
Well done.
It worked like a charm.
No wonder Emory and Carbon don't get along.
That's one of the. That's a,
Dowdell finally able to hit that three after Larson had a nice bucket inside. I'll lead back up to 12 here.
that's a pebble and a boulder are the reasons why they don't get along. But Dowdell seemed to get loose on that one, and Woods Cross again this quarter has betrayed them a little bit from what they were able to do at the end of the half of finding their offense.
Also 16 fouls on Woods Cross. Olympus will be shooting the rest of the way. 14 fouls on the Titans. Dribble penetration here. Can't get the roll. Benny with the rebound.
And nothing quite going right. Spacing off a little bit on that drive there.
Frank a kick out. Alder the three. Can't get it to go. Woods Cross with the board, and the Cats out on the run. Creer. Dowdell, good defense, but he is on the floor, able to regain his feet here. To the corner, three-point try from Creer. No good, and Jones able to secure the rebound. Inside of 40 seconds left here. Hesitation and a foul here on the floor. That will be the 17th foul, so Ryland Jones going to head to the line here. As on the foul, I think, was Davis Creer. It's his second personal.
That's the third personal on the Wildcats.
Oh, my apologies, the third.
On the 17th foul. On the Wildcats, at the free throw line.
No, just the second. It was the 17th foul. I misheard the PA guy.
And Jeffrey, always usually very clear. Again, it's game 3 of the day. Game 4 is going to be a good one. Battle for Mount Temp coming up next.
You know, and one of the tough things, I mean, you look at Timpanogos in that Region 8, they get a win over Skyridge. Got to be feeling good about themselves, a co-region championship, and how do you get rewarded with Timview in the first round, a potential matchup with Olympus in the second.
Right. Welcome to the top half of the 5A bracket. Is nice hustle there by both Goodfellow and Ryland Jones. Apparently that's Josh Larson. But he'll stay here with Woods Cross.
23 seconds left. Good defense on the inbound as they do get it in with Spencer. Clock now down to 10. Dowdell tries for that poke from behind, off the backboard, and a foul on the putback with 2.1 seconds left. And this one gonna go against Jackson Frank, his first on the shot. So Woods Cross to the line here to try to score inside of 3 seconds.
A nice job there by Roberts, staying alive and getting that board, and then drawing the foul.
First try for Roberts is good. I think he's 4 of 5 in the quarter from the line. And the second try coming up. Good. 2 seconds left. Ryland Jones, will he get it away? No, he will not. The quarter comes to a close. 53-41, the Olympus Titans leading Woods Cross at the end of 3. You're watching the 5A state playoffs on live.ksl and desertnews.com.
Get 75 dollars when you open a MyStyle checking account at Mountain America Credit Union. With MyStyle checking, you'll earn rewards like gift cards, cashback, event tickets, and more.
Start of the fourth quarter. 12-point lead for the Titans. Trying to get out of a tough first-round matchup here with Woods Cross. Dane Stewart, Dusty Lidster here. Ryland Jones will kick out, corner three, no good. An offensive rebound. Boy, it was brought down momentarily, but ends up with Dowdell for three. Well, he didn't shoot the ball particularly well in the early going, but he's feeling it now. The lead up to 15, the largest of the game, and that one through the hands. It'll stay here as they say that's out off of Benny. Woods Cross ball underneath.
How funny is it that we say that Dowdell is not shooting the ball very well and he's got 15 points?
Yeah, that's been the problem. He has just become a fantastic scorer, and even on days where from the perimeter he's struggled, you know, missed a few shots, he's still in double figures and second on the team.
That's the second personal on Dowdell, number 6.
As Dowdell picks up the foul here, number 2 on the senior. And Roberts to the line, where most of his points have come from in this ball game. 16 foul on Olympus, so free throws the rest of the way for Woods Cross.
Could be a interesting fourth quarter with both teams shooting free throws.
I have a feeling this fourth quarter may be a little bit different than the first two games we had here in our first round of the 5A state playoffs.
As we're in game 3 of day 2 of the 2019 5A state tournament. Actually, no, the tournament week, should say. Yeah, but it can be a little bit different. And a lot of it's just that Woods Cross is, though they're hanging in here, have never had a true offensive rhythm to this ball game, where they were getting consistent buckets quarter to quarter.
I think it's one of those things. I mean, you talk about that Wasatch game, first game of the day, and Wasatch hit some big threes in the third to bring them back in and take the lead. You can make the same argument about Woods Cross, and really it's been the 3-ball and the free throw line in the second half, and there hasn't been much of anything else from the floor for Woods Cross.
Yeah. Yeah, leading scorer on the floor is Howell with 13 points, but not a lot of assist. You know, Roberts here got 11 and couldn't get that one to go, but that's kind of been the difference in those games.
Whoa, Dowdell went to the floor, and I thought that was a high screen, or I thought it got hit pretty high.
It's gotten a little, it's gotten really physical.
Yeah. As Dowdell comes away with it here.
Olympus students are very, very creative.
Jones. And a timeout taken here by Matt Barnes. Full timeout, we'll take it with him. You're watching the first round of the 6A state playoffs on live.ksl and desertnews.com. Ryland Jones to inbound for Olympus, coming out of the timeout. Dowdell on the drive. Boy, tough finish as Dowdell hits the floor again. And you talk about the physicality. It's not the first time he's hit the hardwood today.
Well, that one hurts because he came down on his hip.
Dowdell going to head to the line here to shoot 2. And he's trying to walk that one off, and you can tell how badly that one hurt Dowdell. And Tyler Roberts called for the personal, his 4th. Dowdell's first one rims out. Talk about Dowdell and Jones and getting a little dinged up as the season has gone on. And you know, the tough thing is now is when you got to be, well, the way the schedule works out, you're back here on Thursday, and then you've got to go Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
If you keep winning. And so not a lot of time to rest for 2 players that in the latter part of the year have starting to have some of those nagging injuries. Dowdell here still holding his hip. Some continued jawing occurring. The 9th team foul on Woods Cross, and that is the 5th and final for Tyler Roberts, who's fouled out. So it'll be Noah Benny heading to the line here with 2 free throws. Excuse me, 1 and 1. So this lead now bumped up to 17. And of course, Olympus does not know who they will play tomorrow. That game coming up. But Dusty, when you think about Timpview and Timpanogos, not that Coach Barnes thinks like this, but which one do you think is the more difficult matchup for this Olympus squad?
I think it's Timpanogos. Timpanogos' length is a difference, and they can play small if they need to. They got a lot of athletes. Timpview, we haven't got to see him a lot this year.
Yeah.
Excited to see Nate Hansen. He's scoring at a terrific clip. But Timpanogos seems to have more guys, if you will. We got to see them against Sky Ridge. We know that they will play defense. They'll slow it down. They can shoot the 3. Matt Norman has the ability to do it. They got an inside presence as well. I don't know that Coach Barnes loves that the second round brings either one of those 2 teams, but I would not want Timpanogos in the second round.
I think one of the other things we saw in that game against Skyridge is they have an ability to change tempo. And when you play Olympus, so much of it is about tempo, right? Yeah. And who can have the tempo they want. And we saw out of that Timpanogos Skyridge game, they had the opportunity to change the tempo on Skyridge. Can they do that against Olympus? I think is a great question. Oh, man, and Jones to the floor hard. As the physicality, as you'd mentioned, in this one has been amped up.
Yeah, and here's the thing on that one, too. It's just that you're in the air, and there's no way to not fall hard. If you're getting foul to the rim, you know, there's not a way to quickly throw a mattress underneath you and make sure you're not landing weird.
22 points for Ryland. One more coming up here, and that one good. Try to go inside. Ryland able to deflect it, and a foul going to be called here on Jake Lewis of Woods Cross, his first, and Dowdell will be awarded the free throws.
Now, this hasn't happened yet today. This first one where the game is getting elongated by all the whistles. And what it's going to do is going to stat stuff a little bit for Dowdell and certainly Jones.
Only if they make him, Dusty. Only if they make him.
They tend not to miss him that often if they're not nursing a sore hip.
That is true. And sometimes even when they are nursing a sore hip, as Dowdell hits the first.
And Coach Barnes with the timeout.
We'll take it with them. The final 4:20 coming up next. Dowdell able to knock that one away momentarily, but Woods Cross still with the possession here.
And just could not get that one to go halfway through the fourth quarter. It'll be interesting to see how long Coach Barnes keeps Jones and Dowdell out there.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're still on the floor, quite frankly. A 24-point lead here, and we've already seen the physicality and the number of fouls that are coming. And Noah Benny able to finish at the rim, but there's a foul here called on Olympus, the 7th team foul. So to the line will heads Woods Cross. Jake Howe. And, you know, you talk about this Woods Cross team. We mentioned only 4 seniors on the roster, a young roster. Jake Howe, Tyler Roberts, both juniors, will be coming back. And for first-year staff, it was Coach Walkenhurst moved on to Farmington, and they retained a lot of that previous staff, but done a good job of laying some of the foundation for continued success here at Woods Cross.
And it'll be interesting to watch what happens going forward for Woods Cross, right? Talk about a lot of those juniors. So much change in Davis County. You mentioned Farmington coming in. That affects more Viewmont, Davis area, but I don't think you're going to stop seeing some of the effects of the growth that we're seeing within the state of Utah, but certainly in Davis County.
Yeah. Ryland Jones into the paint. Look at the handles, huh? Folks, that's why you practice ball dribbling in the garage, is that display for the last 20 seconds by, in my opinion, Mr. Basketball.
Now, I have been that student with my team getting a little bit dump trucked and talking smack to the best player on the other team, and it always went that well.
Big 3 made there by German. Is Ryland holding here near half court. And that shot good for Jones. And Ryland Jones just continues to score 27 points. As a foul underneath here going to be called on Jackson Franks.
Well, Woods Cross, for good reasons, continues to go hard to the hole. And this is just a game that doesn't want to be over yet. I mean, Woods Cross with some extra time on the floor.
Yeah, what's the rush? I mean, we're going to be here playing basketball all day anyway, right?
That 9-10 tip gets later and later.
As the first free throw able to crawl in for Davis Creer. And substitutions coming on the floor here is Jake Howe heading off, Brant German as well as Tucker Goodfellow. And Goodfellow and German both seniors. And German was a little frustrated with the close of his high school career. And now substitutions, a line change for the Olympus Titans, and a well-deserved ovation from the Olympus crowd.
Yeah, it's never easy for seniors to be done. You know, losing in the first round of a state tournament, there's never a good way to go down. And they're gonna have time to think back. And it's interesting, we always ask championship, our championship interviews, we lay down tonight what's gonna go through your head. And even when you don't win a state championship, there are so many great memories that you think about. And a lot of them aren't on the floor. And these guys, this is a brotherhood. When you play sports or you do anything together as a group, there's a bond that's created that never quite leaves. And that's certainly what's going to go through these guys' minds as these seniors, as they're done. Is it's crazy that it's over, but you look back on those memories, and even 15 years from now, you get together and the inside jokes are still there. The funny moments in practices are still there. Those moments that you had on the court, they don't go away. And matter of fact, some 20 years later, almost 20 years later, it's like it just happened a couple of months before you start thinking about it.
Well,
and it's always good.
One of the amazing things, I mean, you look at this Woods Cross team, and we talked about, Dusty, how the year started. Let's just review that. They beat Fremont back in November, beat them by 17. Hey, that's a pretty good Fremont team. That's a good win, huh? Hey, and let's follow that up a couple of weeks later with a win at East, a team that we'll see later today in the first round. Oh, and then in early January, let's just go beat Skyridge by 9.
Yeah, the first loss for Skyridge.
I mean, what this Woods Cross team did this year, and we mentioned, the frustration that was Region 5 for them, but a lot of real quality wins for the Wildcats. And I mean, to your point, a year that won't end the way that they would have liked it to, but man, they had some real glorious moments in the early part of the year, and teams that ended up being really, really good ball clubs that this Woods Cross team caused a lot of havoc for. There's an offensive rebound and put back there for Caden Kuhn.
Nice job by Kuhn. But remember, there's only one team at the end of this week on Saturday, in 5A anyway. There'll be 2 teams on Saturday. They'll actually end the season the way they want to.
Yeah. Well, and starting next year, only one team will end with a win. This year, you can still argue that there's a handful of teams that could end the season with a win, but meaning, next year when everyone makes the playoff, right?
Oh, yeah,
only one team will end the year with a win.
Right.
Everyone else, their season will come to a close on the short side of the scoreboard. This year, since not everyone made the playoff, other teams could.
Yeah, okay, good. I see what you're saying.
It's the beauty of tournaments.
And it is. And so you got to gut it up, come back on Thursday for Olympus. Hopefully Dowdell's injury's not too bad, a little hip.
Oh, he's going to play.
Oh, he'll play. But just enough that's not affecting him. But this is going to be interesting to watch what happens this week. This top half of the bracket is pretty doggone good, and Highland upsetting Bountiful. They getting Corner Canyon. Now Olympus moving on, get the winner of Timpanogos Timpview. I mean, that's a really good semifinal. Actually, it's a great quarterfinal, however it goes. But that semifinal is going to be very interesting.
And not to say that one game's more difficult than another. I mean, we learned last night, you watch West Jordan slow down the Kearns Cougars. Every game is difficult. But if you go through the gauntlet of the top half of that bracket, I mean, are you going to have enough in a state championship game? Or is that going to actually prepare you to go out and lay some wood?
Yeah.
Be interesting to watch come Saturday. As Olympus here running their weave and just taking some time off. It'll set up a Kuhn 3. A foul here on Kuhn on the rebound.
He knew he didn't want to do it. Kuhn couldn't quite stop himself. You always follow your shot. And you bump it.
Coach, I was just doing what you told me to do and follow my shot, man.
That's what you got to tell him.
Yeah. So we mentioned Timpanogos Timpview, that game coming up next. Remainder of this first day, Farmington at Murray, Jordan at Maple Mountain, Skyridge, Alta, and East Viewmont.
Can I tell you a funny thing that happened on the concourse?
Please.
Ran into Maple Mountain coaches. He comes up to me, he goes, well, you know, I'm going to wreck your bracket today.
I love that.
I told him, I said, I love the attitude. Go do it.
By the way, if you watched our bracketology, what did we say? It's a sneaky first round game.
Yeah. Well,
it's a sneaky first round game. Yep.
But I loved it because the first thing I thought was, A, you watched it.
Hey, I'm always happy to be poster board material.
Absolutely.
It's like, you need us in the locker room, we'll be there. We just get a ring.
You think we do it because we think we know something?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I ask for is a ring at the end of the day. If you use me, I'm a member of the team, man.
I keep offering to speak at teams' banquets.
Pie, right?
Throw a pie in your face. Are you even going to speak to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I just ask you take it out of the tin so I don't get a bloody nose.
Okay.
3.5 seconds left. Heave-ho at the end, and that'll do it. The Olympus Titans avoid the scare, 77-55 over the Woods Cross Wildcats. The Titans advance to the quarterfinal. Dusty, your final thoughts and a player of the game.
Yeah, Olympus did what Olympus needs to do, and we talked about it. They've had to figure out some things throughout the year, some addition scoring, and able to get it today. But the player of the game is always going to be the catalyst of this team. That is number 15, Ryland Jones. He does everything. He gets things going. Dowdell was slow out of the blocks, but not Ryland. Ryland got going and led Olympus that comfortable first-round win.
Ryland was complete today, as he always is. The Olympus Titans 77-57 over Woods Cross. For Dusty Litster, Bill Francis, my name is Dane Stewart. Thanks for joining us. Our next game, Timpanogos and Timpview, set to square off at 2:30 right here on live.kslndesertnews.com.